WWE just gave us the end of an era. Oba Femi destroying Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 was massive. It was a spectacle. It made Oba look like a freak of nature and made Brock look, well, human for the first time in 20 years. But I have a question, and it's probably going to make some of you hit the keyboard before I even finish the sentence. Did WWE end the beast with the wrong monster? Because while Oba got the trophy, there was another man standing in the locker room with more chaos, more story, and a lot more blood on his hands. Jacob Fatu. Did WWE create a star with Oba Femi, or did they just play it safe because they were too terrified to unleash the real final boss? Today we're looking at the hidden mistake of WrestleMania 42. To understand why this is a problem, look at where we are. Brock issued the challenge. Oba answered, the beast was put out. Now, the retirement was handled perfectly on paper. But look at what happened next. WWE is already running into the Oba problem. He's doing an open challenge. He's doing an open challenge on Raw, and the silence is deafening. Why? Because once a monster eats the biggest shark in the ocean, why would anybody volunteer for the main course? WWE gave Oba the trophy, but they didn't give him a war. Brock Lesnar isn't a clean wrestler, he's a predator. If Oba Femi was the correct business decision, Jacob Fatu would have been the superior story decision. Brock versus Oba was power versus power, but Brock versus Jacob, that's violence versus violence. Here's where it gets controversial. When Oba gets Brock, it feels like a coronation. When Jacob Fatu beats Brock, it feels like a crime scene. Think about the stakes. Jacob isn't just a solo act, he's a high voltage wire connected to Roman Reigns. If Jacob is the one to end the beast, he's not just the next big thing. He becomes the uncontrollable problem for the entire company. Jacob makes Brock look haunted. You aren't just wondering who is stronger. You're wondering if Brock is going to make it back to the locker room in one piece. Jacob has an emotional instability that Oba just hasn't tapped into as yet. And let's talk about the big dog. We saw Roman beat Jacob at Backlash, but did he really? WWE is desperately trying to frame Jacob as the unhinged one to protect Roman's status. But imagine if Jacob had the Brock Lesnar scalp on his wall before he stared down Roman. Suddenly, Roman isn't dealing with a loose cannon cousin. He's dealing with the man who retired the most decorated combat athlete in history. If Jacob ends Brock, Roman's chief status doesn't just look shaky, it looks fraud. Now close your eyes and imagine it. WrestleMania 42, Brock walks out, no pyro, no laughing, just the walk of a man going into his final execution. Then the lights go out. Jacob Fatu doesn't dance, he doesn't play to the crowd, he just locks eyes with Brock. Brock tosses him with a German suplex. Jacob doesn't sell it, he pops up and laughs at the beast's face. The match stops being a wrestling clinic and becomes a survival horror movie. Brock hits an F5, but Jacob doesn't stay down. He rolls away like a wounded animal. The final sequence is Brock goes for one last F5. Jacob slips out. 1, 2, 3. And the real kicker, if Jacob beats Brock, he becomes too big, too fast. He would have detonated the Roman Reigns storyline before it was ready to even explode. Jacob Fatu ended Brock would have made Roman Reigns irrelevant by Monday morning. Why fear the tribal chief when the werewolf just ate the beast? Now, by giving Oba the win, WWE boxed themselves into a corner. They created a monster that is too powerful for the weekly roster, but lacks the deep emotional lore that makes Jacob Fatu must-see TV every single time he breathes. At the end of the day, WWE didn't make a bad choice with Oba Femi. They made the safe choice. Oba Femi ended Brock Lesnar's career. He's the new powerhouse, the new beast, the new business model. But Jacob Fatu, Jacob could have ended the myth. He could have made the beast exit feel dangerous, personal, and terrifying. WWE gave us the ending they wanted, but they might have hidden the ending we deserved.